Hey, welcome back. This is episode 6. I got a very special friend and a guest, Fantasia. She's with us. Last week, as you may know, we talked about insecurities, comparison, and I had my other friend Terrence to chop it up with us and talk about that. And that was from like a male perspective. And this week, had to we want to go into it a little bit further, but from a different perspective. And so I got Fantasia with us to talk about a little bit of what she loves to do, which is makeup,
Yes.
and also kind of tie that into insecurities. So we'll go ahead and get started. But before we get started, I have to ask you, how have you been?
I've been good. Life is good. I just been well, I recently got promoted with my job, so I've just been traveling all over the place, being here and there, different experiences. Yeah, life has just been good.
That's
I can't
great.
complain. God is good.
It sounds like your life is, I'm not going to say better than mine, but you're enjoying traveling. Can't travel at the moment because I got some babies with me and not gonna do too much traveling with Corona right now. What
Yeah,
you
and
think
look,
about the coronavirus?
listen, y'all, stay clear of the Rona.
Stay
I've been
clear.
doing some research on the Rona, and it. Listen, they don't know if it's airborne, but it's heavy and it drops on. So I don't know. Stay clear of the Ronas. Wash your hands. Sing happy birthday 2 times. Get in between. Like be
Your
very,
nails.
intentional. Your nails, everything. Wash your clothes. Don't touch your face. Y'all be safe out here in these streets.
My wife, when I come home, she's not here when I get home, but she reminds me. She's like, before you touch the kids or whatever, take your clothes off, put them in
Yes.
the dirty hamper, and all of that. So yeah, we're
Yeah.
definitely trying to stay safe. And I got allergies, so I have to really be cautious because people are gonna look at me, give me the side
Crazy,
eye if
y'all.
I'm
Giving them the
sneezing.
side eye.
So yeah, but
Yeah.
Corona
But it's funny though, because
2020.
I feel like I work in the healthcare field, so like all of the hand washing principles that we've always done,
Hmm.
I feel like people are just now learning how to walk with like washing hands, and
Right.
it's so funny. But yes, y'all, like practice like good hygiene, wash them hands.
Wash your hands. So let's get into the topic. We're talking about makeup, as I mentioned a minute ago. Speaking of makeup, though, like what made you get into? Y'all see her makeup is on fleek
Y'all just a little
today.
razzle dazzle.
But what made you get into makeup, or why do you like it so much?
So, makeup has actually been a part of my life since I was a kid. My grandmother was a Mary Kay consultant. I used to like kind of travel with her sometimes when she would go do host her parties and do her Mary Kay events. So it's just always been like something like I was always around as a kid. Like I was always fascinated with her doing her own makeup. So fun fact, like she would drive to different events and I would be in the front seat with her and she would be applying her lipstick and
Mm.
I would intentionally drink her drink where she put her lipstick print just to get some of her
Just to get some
lipstick.
makeup
So
or lipstick on
yes,
you?
yes. And
That's
so I
funny.
was like always been fascinated with makeup, like
As a kid.
as a kid, yeah.
And then so as you got older, you decide like you do makeup tutorials on YouTube.
Yeah, I do makeup tutorials on
Shout
YouTube.
yourself out.
So yeah, you guys can follow me on YouTube. And my channel is called Slay Your Life, as well as Instagram, where I post different looks and different makeup tips and skin care hygiene like that too. And that's on IG at Slay Your Life, and life spelled Lyfe. So yeah, follow me.
Follow her. So started out as a kid, then you got older, you still got your interest in it. What are some positives or even some negatives with makeup? Or actually, let me rephrase the question. If same thing, like what are some positives and negatives, but what effect does that have on like um I guess women on how they see
Yes.
themselves or confidence wise?
Confidence wise. Okay, so I mean like some positives with makeup. With makeup, I feel like it gives you like a free range to kind of like express your art. Whenever I'm
Mm-hmm.
doing my face, I view it as a canvas. So I'm like always excited about just like
Interesting.
being like expressive with like my art or how I'm feeling with like my makeup looks. It makeup can produce a negative effect because some women feel like, oh, I can't step out if I don't have my face done, or I'm not beautiful if I don't have my face done. And just different stuff like that. I remember going to a party once, a Mary Kay party, and assisting this lady who was a local sales director with her party. And every Thursday, she would host like a party where she taught women skincare and makeup routines. And we always had this one lady who would always come every single Thursday, and we would always use her as a model. And I remember one day I was just like, "Hey, you always come every single Thursday. Like, what do you get out of this?" Mm-hmm. And she revealed that, for her, getting her makeup done kind of made her feel like beautiful in a sense. When she would go home, she felt like her husband desired her more whenever she would have her makeup done. So for me, that kind of like that did something to me, because I'm just like, when you wash that off, like, how do you feel about yourself when you wash that off? Yeah. This lasts for however long, and you may feel beautiful for however long, but when you take that off, like, how do you feel about yourself? Like, what does this say about how it just broke my heart, y'all. So ever since then, I just kind of been like just really pouring back and uplifting women whenever I touch their faces and whenever I do their makeup. Like, this doesn't make you. The skin that you have underneath, like, that's what makes you, and that's what matters. Like, makeup isn't going to alter how you feel about yourself, because it's temporary. When you wash that off, what do you have after that? Right. So
it's only on the outside.
Yeah, it's just only face value. That's it.
So how do we not, I say we like I'm wearing makeup.
But you got daughters though.
I got daughters, this is important. I got a wife, right? So, and one thing that you said that she felt like her husband desired her more when she had makeup. Obviously, when you have makeup, a man is gonna, be attracted to, because you're presenting yourself
differently, right?
And you're basically enhancing how you already look,
right?
So yeah, it's gonna bring more attention, more desire, and things like that. But at the same time, how do women learn to put their confidence in who they are, like their personality, their character, out instead of makeup or their hair? There's a song by India Irie, I Am Not My Hair.
Yes, love India.
Yeah, that's a good song. But so how do we begin to do that instead of saying, because I know some people that cannot take a picture without having makeup their lashes on, or you know what I mean? And I'm not against anybody with makeup.
Listen.
But back to my question anyways. How do we build confidence in who we actually are on the inside instead of what we're doing, what people see on the outside? Because at the end of the day, you might not like how you look, or something about you. You might be insecure about your nose or your eyes or something like that, right? So you try to do all you can do to fix it up.
Right.
But also, beauty is just a perspective. It's only looked Absolutely. At as whoever's looking at it through their eyes. So if you're looking in the mirror and you see something you don't like, you're only focusing on that, and it's only you looking at that. It's only your perspective. Other people see the whole you. We see your character. We see your personality.
Exactly.
We see all of that, and we might not even trip off what you've been tripping off for all these years.
Yeah.
There's people that will have a couple pimples and say, I don't have clear skin, or my skin is horrible. And for me personally, even if my wife has 2 or 6 pimples, she has beautiful skin. So I'm not worried about what you see. What I see is the full package.
The full package.
So how do we build our confidence in the full package and not relying on makeup?
Just makeup. I feel like so a lot of things that we try and just cover up that are just like surface level are so much more deeper than that. So my word of encouragement or advice to someone who's struggling from that would be, you need to get to the core of your insecurities. And sometimes we don't even notice like things that people say to you. I might be like, "Oh, Johnny, you got a big old nose," and then every time you turn around, Fantasia said my nose is big, and what if I go get some type of nose surgery done and something like that? Like we're not really conscious of the things that we say to people and how that kind of like affects them, or those are like the loudest voices that people hear when they're alone by themselves. So for me, I feel like you need to get to the core of your insecurity and just realize like you can't fix the insecurity by masking that up. Like your insecurity is a reflection of how you feel about yourself. So you need to spend some time with yourself and get to that perspective of loving yourself, and not just like you feeling like you could just mask and cover up something with makeup. It's temporary. Get to the core of your insecurities. Why do I feel like this? What's making me feel like this? What God does make junk, y'all. It's simple. God does not make junk. So makeup is not gonna fix an insecurity. It's not gonna mask anything you feeling. Once you wash that off, how is it that you're feeling about yourself? So get to the core, dig deep, find out why you're feeling this certain type of way about yourself, and deal with that thing first,
right?
Before you try and mask it with anything.
That's good. And we, like last episode, I did talk about comparison a little bit, but also not just makeup, because we're not, obviously she loves makeup, she does good with it.
Yeah.
Makeup is great, and like I mentioned, it enhances that's what it's there for. It's not there to change you, just enhance the beauty that's already there.
That's it.
That's good.
That's it.
Anyways,
it's just an enhancer.
Because I feel like a lot of people they're so upset with how they look, and just staring off of makeup. And you mentioned surgery, so you got plastic and cosmetic surgery. Do you think social media, what we see on social media, is kind of shaping the minds of
absolutely
the society nowadays, or individuals?
Absolutely. That's why you got to be careful what you watch. Because listen, in transparent moment, I've been caught in some places before on social media where you'll be scrolling, and it doesn't even have to result back to surgeries. It could be somebody with like a large house or different type of accolades or different places in their life, but you got to be careful about what it is that you allow yourself to like intake and what you're feeding yourself, because ultimately when you're scrolling and you're cooking that stuff up inside and getting all messed up about what somebody else is doing, or people are more attracted to a big butt or big breasts or more fuller lips or anything of that nature, that comparison is such a dangerous game that you play. And a lot of those exposures that we get from that view, that we feel like that's the newest thing or that's what's popping, is off of social media. And it's just like,
it seems like that's what's accepted.
That's what's accepted.
I won't throw no celebrities out, but it's people that, before they got surgery or they had something done, they weren't they weren't the buzz, like they weren't the main talk. And then once they got that, now it's, everyone's interested in this person, and it's like, shouldn't we? And I'm not against surgery, but what I'm getting at is, when I see all of this stuff on social media, it's like, that's sending what kind of message are we trying? Because I got two daughters. What kind of message are we trying to send to the younger generation? Are we showing them that it's okay to embrace your flaws or what you might not like about you, or are we showing them whatever you don't like, it's okay, you can change it or we can fix it?
And I feel like exactly what you just said, we approach a lot of different things, especially us, this generation. We some jacked up young kids, like in this generation, because we do approach a lot of things with that. If you don't like it, you can go fix it.
Right.
If you think your teeth crooked, you can go fix it. It's like, okay, who's pouring into us and saying, hey, you are perfectly fine just the way that you are. Like, the way that God created you is exactly how you were supposed to create it. Like this, there's nobody advocating more for that than there is people who are go fix it.
Right.
You got doctors going viral on Facebook for butt injections and doing all these different type of surgeries. So of course that's what our people see, and that's what we are more prone to want to go out and go do, saving money up for. I got a couple of friends who just got their bodies done recently, and it's like, you save up. Savings isn't for putting in the house anymore, or for a rainy day or for emergency fund. It's like, no, I'm gonna save up 10 grand to go get my body or my butt done. Yeah. It's like nobody's advocating for to pour into people and teach them like, this is what you were made like this, like you're perfectly fine just the way that you are. Like nobody speaks to that crowd anymore. And I mean, like, for you as a parent, I think it's so important that you hold true to those values and instill those things into your daughter, even into your wife, because insecurities can fall on young ears, old ears, it doesn't matter. I think getting back to that core, like, again, and dealing with your insecurities head on and getting to the root of those is something that could be so life changing and just such a big deal and a game changer for yourself when it comes to when you find yourself put in a place where you feel like you're not enough, and you're finding yourself comparing yourself to the things that you see on social media and the things that other people are doing. Like, get back to that place of being enough and being okay with who you are, who you were created to be. Because let's just be honest, you gonna get older.
Right.
That body's not gonna look good forever.
And
Like,
that's added stress. You got to keep going back to the doctor.
yes,
You got to stay up on this, invest more money into this.
yeah, and you have people who are getting the breast implants that are like basically sick because of the materials and the things that they use to make the breast look fuller or whatever the other case may be. I
Mm-hmm.
have a couple of friends too who've had their breast implants taken out because it was deteriorating their body. It's just like, why? Why are we doing all of that?
Yeah. And I'm not going to, because I don't want to paint the picture that I'm anti um, surgery or
Or
plastic
anything like that?
surgery.
Yeah.
Like, I think the main thing is just to know your truth. So it's a lot of people that get these surgeries and they hide the fact that they got it because they were insecure. They just say, "Oh, I was okay with this. I just wanted, I just feel better with it like this or whatever." But it's like anything you're okay with doesn't need to change.
Right.
You know what I
Right.
mean? But if you want to get surgery, and if that's what you want to do, that's fine. But at the end of the day, we need to speak the truth. So it's like, I got this surgery, right? But I got this because I was feeling like this.
Right. Right.
And also, how about just be open and share the truth that even though I was feeling like this and then I got this done and this change, the feeling of this, or like you said, the deeper core issues have not changed. So this wasn't
Right.
really the solution
Right.
to my problem. And I think we all kind of hide it with, we just hide it and don't speak on it. That
Mm-hmm.
goes with many things. So I think the main thing is just to speak your truth, and because we gotta like, our voices have to speak out. There's more people that are going through the things that we go through,
Absolutely.
and when we share how we feel or what we're going through with any situation, somebody else is listening, somebody else is acknowledging and actually learning from our
Mm-hmm.
experience, so they don't have to make the same mistake or
Exactly.
choice.
Exactly. And I think to speak to that, that's why it's so important. So like for me, for instance, when y'all see me with my makeup done, it's usually on the weekends. I rarely wear makeup throughout the week because I want to be able to share that message of skincare and healthy skin
Yeah, you be
first.
posting a lot of on your stories, no
Yes,
makeup. No, I'm like,
no makeup, skincare, and healthy skin first because for a second when I was younger, I felt like because I always saw my grandma did up. So although like that struck my interest with makeup, to me I felt like okay, you got to be stepping out with the makeup and everything done in order to
mm-hmm,
be presentable and present yourself. So I did go through that phase where I felt like that was important. But y'all, waking up, putting a whole face together, it's a lot of work. It's
mm-hmm,
a lot of work to feel like you're not doing it because this makes you feel good, this makes you feel great. You're doing it because you want to impress other people. And that was the mindset and the place that I was around makeup for a long time. So like I'm like, no, like I want to be able to preach healthy skin. You
mm-hmm.
see so many people who come out and because they cover themselves up so much, you see them barefaced, and it's almost scary.
Yeah,
And so it's for me, I've never wanted to be in that place. I always wanted to just be in a place where if I put my makeup on, it's because I want to, and it's because I want to glam up or do whatever. And it's not for you; it's for
right.
me. And that's the place that I've always wanted to be in. So I'm very like pro skincare. Yes. What is your skin looking like? What do you look like underneath that makeup? How's your skincare? Like what do you have going on? Are you moisturizing? Have you been drinking your water? Because essentially makeup is a
That's what makes you
band-aid.
feel
Yeah,
good.
that's what makes you feel good, right? And not putting on a foundation or putting eyeshadow over your eyes or doing your makeup. You're gonna go home and take that off. How do you feel when you take that off? When you look at your skin, are you happy with what you see? And that was so huge for me, which is why you only catch me with makeup on a couple of days out of the week. Sometimes you won't catch me with makeup on for a month or so, and it's just because I'm in love with my skin. I'm in love with what I have going on right now. Actually, I think this bare face looks better than putting on all this glam stuff, and that's what it was for me for a long time. So I think as soon as you start to feel those insecurities rise up against you, and whatever that may be, it doesn't even have to be makeup. As soon as those insecurities start to rise up in you, you feel, okay, I'm cooking this up, and I feel like masking it with some foundation or whatever the case may be. Instantly check yourself, because that right there save you so much like just broken mindset in the long run. Instantly check those insecurities as soon as you start to feel those things to rise. And that's what it was for me in the beginning. Like when I got really interested in makeup, I'm just like, yo, like I feel like I gotta be dressed to the nines when I step outside. Yeah. Feel like nobody's gonna like be interested in me if my face isn't beat. But it's just like when you take that off, are you happy with what you see? And if you're not, like, you need to check that. You need to be happy with what you see in the mirror. And that was like my motivation and it still is my motivation. Like, honestly, I wake up and I'm like, yes, girls, skin is popping, honey. And that like speaks louder for me. So yeah, it's always been like, how are you feeling? Like, what's your motivation for putting this makeup on today? So that's how, okay, if you're not feeling yourself, then you're not gonna do all of that, like how's your skincare? How are you feeling? Like, do you feel good? So that's what it is for me for a lot of times.
That's good. And also I'm about to take a quick break, but just piggybacking on that, like you said, when you look at yourself, how do you feel about yourself? And what you don't like I said on the last episode, speak, the opposite, speak positive, speak more positive value more on what you see. So if you think your nose doesn't look good, or you think, you're not beautiful, tell yourself you are beautiful. And that's a process. And there's other things I talked about, speaking out, or talking to somebody. If it's something that you don't like, or it's really dealing with you for any situation, we all should have at least that one friend or that one parent. Or if you don't have anybody, because there might be somebody that doesn't have anybody, we all have access, or can probably get access to counselors.
Yeah.
What am I looking for? What's the
therapist?
Therapist, thank you.
Yes.
So that goes a big way, and and it's just steps by steps. I guess what we're preaching, quote unquote, or what we're trying to put out into the world is positivity and embracing who you are, self-love.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to take just a break and go into this segment. I wasn't gonna do a segment, but I feel like I want to, because I begin to be curious and just your responses. So I got a couple questions, just 2 questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
All right. I call these random questions. So this is the random question segment.
Oh gosh, y'all.
But this is not bad. These are actually like pretty good questions.
All right.
So first one, who do you look up to or admire? Give me like 3. Can we go 3?
3 people?
Okay. Give me 3 people you admire.
So I admire my mom. Do you want me to say why?
Sure.
My mom, because I've seen my mom go through so much in her life, and I call her an overcomer. And she's just like, whenever I think about overcoming something, my mom is one of the first people who always come to my mind. Let's see, I admire Michelle Obama. She's just all around such a dope, just amazing individual, and just like a ray of sunshine and a light in every aspect that we've been allowed to just see as far as her life.
Yeah.
And honestly, your mom, I admire your mom.
You admire my mother?
Yes. First Lady Jwhite. I admire First Lady Jwhite, y'all.
Me too.
I love me some her. And the reason why is because she has, I feel like when you think of a first lady, she is not your typical first lady whatsoever. Mm-mm. And I love like how she walks in her own lane and she holds her own lane down, and like she's her own person despite like being married to the pastor of this. We're not a mega church, but sometimes it feels like we're a mega church. But like all the like she's like a first lady, and she supports her husband on other things outside of being what the quote unquote first lady is supposed to look like. And I just love like how she owns her own lane. She's grounded in her own lane. She stays in her own lane, and she doesn't have a need or need to just step in, be in any other own lane. And like that right there speaks so many volumes to me about, okay, this is my lane, this is where I shine, and
Mm-hmm.
like this is the lane where I'm going. And it's so beautiful because I feel like sometimes we can get so crossed up and feeling like we need to dip and be here and all over the place. So I've always just admired like just who she is and just how she does what she do. It's just like nobody does what
I
she do
admire
better
that
than
too.
what she does.
That's true.
So yeah,
Shout out to you, First
shout
Lady.
out to you, First Lady.
And she's a good role model of self love too. But all right, another question.
Yeah.
If you had, because you don't have children right now, right?
No children.
All right, so you don't have children right now. If you had a son, or I'm gonna say a son and a daughter,
Okay.
okay? So I want your response for both. What would you teach him or her? So if you had a son, what's like one, not the most important, but one of the
One of the things that I would
things,
teach
yeah,
them,
that you feel is important, and the same for a daughter.
um, for my son, I would teach my son to always have like always just be integrous about your word. Like your word is bond, and if you say you're gonna do something, like do that. Like your integrity is everything as a person. And I feel like I teach my daughter the same thing too, as far as her integrity as a person. And I'll probably also instill in my daughter um, affirmations, self affirmations. Just
Self
yeah,
affirmation.
self affirmations. I feel like we go into a world sometimes where you're constantly bogged down and beat up. And one of my things that I like to practice is in my house, like on every mirror, like I have some scriptures hung up on index cards. I even take my permanent marker sometimes and I write on my mirror, and I just kind of like allow those things to speak to me first thing in the morning. So I
Mm-hmm.
start putting like positive things
That's
where I
good.
can see them first thing in the morning. And one of my favorite things that I have like just sitting over my mirror, and it's the last thing that I see when I walk out of my bathroom and leave for the day, is that like God didn't give you this spirit of fear. And it's just like fear didn't die on the cross for you. Don't serve fear. And that's like something
That's
that I
good.
put up on my mirror, and it's like the last thing that I see when I walk out the door. So I think like as a young woman, and a man too, but like as a young woman, like things like that are key. You're not gonna always have somebody around to like instantly lift you up. So I
Mm-hmm.
feel like your relationship with Christ is so like crucial in that
Yeah.
aspect. But you need to know how sometimes you pat your own self on the back and be your own best friend. And I feel like me being my own best friend sometimes is putting those positive affirmations around me. So I would instill that in my daughter because I think that's so key.
You just instilled that into me. Thank you. No, but that's good. That's good. I think about that kind of stuff sometimes. That's why I had that question there. Um, Never asked any of my guests. You're the first one, but I think about that question because you're gonna have those talks with your children, and it might not even be your children. It might be a niece or a nephew or just someone who you're mentoring.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so I just think about the young generation and trying to uplift them as much as
Yeah,
we
it
can.
is so important. It's so important, especially when like just speaking about what we was talking about, like the things that you see on social media. These kids these days, like my niece knows how to work my phone better than I do. And I like that keeps me up at night sometimes with just like the different things that they see. So I feel like when you're at home, we send these kids out into the world. We don't have any control over what's gonna happen to them, what they get exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Things are happening more and more at schools and stuff like that. But I feel like when at the home base, at home, like you do have the power and the control over what happens in your house and what's instilled into your kids or kids that are like your kids, or like you said, a mentee mentor type of relationship. Like you do have the power over that. It's just like, what are you gonna do with that opportunity? So it's like you either gonna uplift or tear down.
Yeah, that's true. And we're gonna wrap up because we just went through. You answered all my questions within like one question being asked, and that was really good. So I appreciate you. Thank you for being on the show. I got one last thing I want to ask you, just final thoughts,
Okay.
and basically, you went through it, and I'm sure that we've all got something out of it. I sure did. But the one thing I want to ask is your last thoughts. What do you say to the young girl out there that is currently battling, like has low self esteem? So yeah, she has low self-esteem, and just kind of going over what we just talked about, summarizing.
Insecurities.
Insecurities. What's your last encouraging word to
My
that girl?
encouraging words, I would say, listen, baby girl. God did not create junk. You are not junk. You are a powerful individual. You matter. You're beautiful. You are loved. Whether you feel like you're not loved, you are loved. God loves you so, so, so much.
So much.
Makeup does not define who you are. You do not need to put a band-aid over the beauty that God created, because once again, He does not create junk. Lift your head up, walk in your purpose, be who you are, love yourself, and practice self affirmations. If you eat, and it's a process, like Johnny said earlier, it's a process. You put something on your mirror, or even in your car, on your steering wheel, you get in your car, whatever it is that you feel like you're going to see it, like, put something there that's going to be life changing to you every single day. Let that settle in your heart. Use that as ammo to kill any type of insecurity and any type of fear that may settle up in your spirit, cook up in your mind. Shoot that stuff down instantly and remind yourself that you are a child of God and you are a queen, you matter, and you're amazing. So go out and be you and go be great.
Go be great.
And that's it.
That's it. Thank you so much, Fantasia. Y'all check out her page. Shout that out one more time.
So yes, you guys can follow me on Instagram at Slay Your Life, and that's life spelled Lyfe, and also on YouTube. And my channel is also called Slay Your Life, and that's spelled just like Slay Your Life.
Check it out, guys. This was episode 6. Thank you for tuning in. Hope y'all have a blessed week, and let's elevate this week. Take care.